What's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm super excited about this. I'm always super excited. I think I say that at the beginning of every live stream. I'm super excited for today. So I want to highlight another client and take some moments to celebrate her today and pull some wisdom from her about what she's been creating over the past few weeks. And this is like, we were just talking about this. I think this is the fastest case study I've ever done. And one of the reasons why is because I admire who she is. I admire how she shows up and how she just takes the wisdom that's given to her and implements. That's who I am. And so to find somebody who matches that tenacity, that determination, that get it doneness, I'm a little bit like fangirling over you. So let's do this. Why don't you share with them who you are, who you're being in the world, what you're up to, and how you serve people?
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Chantel Tauteoli, and I teach women how to go from reciting affirmations into actually believing them, and then into completely manifesting them in their body, their love, and to create the life of their dreams. That's who I am.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So people always ask me, so what we're celebrating for Chantel, which I'm going to get my pom-poms and stuff out because I want to celebrate you, is her having her biggest month ever in this January, which it was, okay, what's the exact number? Do you know the exact number?
I messaged it over to you, but it was just over $27,000.
$27,000 this month to start the year off. Yeah, girl.
I need pom-poms.
We'll get you some. We'll get you some. I'm super freaking proud of you. One of the biggest questions I get asked from people when they see me post like my clients' results, they want to know like, where'd that person start? The biggest question is this: what industry are they in, right? Mm. And so there's a couple things I want to do. The first thing I want to do, you talked about what you do, but share with them the full spectrum of who you are in the world and the type of business that you're running.
Okay, so I own a brick and mortar wellness studio in a suburb of Salt Lake City. And my primary focus in the studio is called A Beautiful Surprise, is Pilates. And so I teach people how to do Pilates, how to move their bodies, how to go from pain and physical therapy into moving unlike they ever really imagined that they ever could. And that's been what I've done for the last 18 years. What I've realized in what you teach, Shameca, is that whatever comes natural, that is what I do best. And Pilates is it's a very masculine energy. And I love teaching Pilates in that what I realize is what I'm really good at is innately, intuitively reading the body and reading what it is that people really need. So that there's a method that we go through when I'm teaching Pilates, but then there's also the method that I inherently know that people need to physically move through in order to get through the emotions that they've been carrying in their bodies. And really that's the physical manifestation showing up in them based on the emotions that they've been holding on to sometimes all of their lives. And so then kind of the natural progression of me stepping into more of me is now I'm certified into EFT tapping for manifestation. That's the specialty is, EFT is tapping to release your past, but my specialty is how can we manifest what it is that you really want? Let's look to the future and let's create the life that you really do want.
I love that. So it's difficult for people to draw the line from the skill set that they've learned because they have a certification in it, and then that thing that's innately something that you do. Sometimes we can't even put words to it. And so for you to draw the line between, okay, there's pain that people are holding in their bodies. Pilates helps them with moving through that pain, but there's a mental block that they have that I can see, and I need to create a framework, a process, and programs around that. So now you're moving from just having a studio, selling people into getting time with you to help them move their bodies, into actually mentoring and supporting people over a longer period of time with moving through this emotional stuff. I commend you for that. And I think the biggest issue that most people have is trying to figure out how to charge for something like that. Can I charge for something like that? Because it becomes so easy. So can you share what has been your process, or what has come up for you as you transition into doing this thing that comes so naturally for you and trying to figure out, how do I get people to pay me to do this thing? Or can I charge for people to let me do this thing with them?
Right. I think that I have always inherently known that you trade energy for energy, and money is just energy. And so I kind of came in with that mindset, knowing that it is my energy that I'm giving someone, and in trade, what they're getting back for it, the money should equal that. And so, yeah, I was definitely undercharging a lot, but like having the framework around your program also is what really helped me to understand and really give me permission even further to literally charge what it is that I felt like I wanted to charge. But then, like, the stuff that we get kind of caught up in our head, like I am my best client in that I tap through a lot of things where, can I, should I? Yeah, I think that it's part of also what I teach is that if I always do what I've always done, right? If I keep looking at the past, if I keep being that person that I used to be, I'm never going to be able to really step into my full potential. And so I believe that we all have such an enormous ability that we don't even see right now. Like our potential is so much greater than we could ever even fathom in any kind of meditation or any kind of anything. And so that's kind of the faith that I live by. That's kind of where I feel like I'm always treading the line. I am a person that tends to leap really quick. Yeah, but as far as advice, is that what you mean? Like as far as like stepping into it and just going for it and being able to charge what it is that you're really good at?
Yeah, I mean, well, so let's talk about this. Let's say it this way, because you've been in sales school now, how long? A month? Has it been a month?
Yeah, maybe 6 weeks, maybe.
6 weeks? Okay, cool. And doing $27,000 in a month is a big freaking deal. So I want to make sure you're owning that. When you look at who you are now or who you've become, that allows you to do 27,000 as opposed to who you were before. How would you describe the shifts that you've made that allows you to be able to welcome that kind of money into your life and into your business?
That really was a couple of videos that I watched of yours ago in sales school, where you said you keep your eye on what is it that you're creating in the world. So me working one-on-one and then eventually into groups, mentoring these women, the ripple effects that they have from their own lives out into their families' lives, into their communities, into just bettering overall, like my goal is to raise the consciousness of the planet. And so it feels like this huge feat. But if we bring it back and we just start creating these ripples, that's what keeps me going. That's what makes me feel like it's 100% worth it.
I love it. So you came into sales school. You're not a stranger to investing in yourself. I know that you've been in other programs. And so I have a couple of questions around sales school, because one of the things I want to do is highlight sales school students, because I don't do it that often. I don't even talk about the program that often. You kind of have to be in something else that I'm doing, like a challenge or something, to even find out that sales school exists or watch me speak on a stage, because I don't market it outright, which we're shifting that this year, but I want to talk about it. So were there any apprehensions that you had before you decided to join the program that came up for you?
Well, so honestly, I'd gone to your site, right? And I'd seen your first page. And this is just like me talking about fangirling over you. The first time I went to your page, it felt so powerful. You felt so powerful to me that I think I started to scroll and I exited out. I couldn't even look at the whole page. And then, but through the beauty of Facebook algorithms, you kept popping up on my feed. And so I went back, and I saw and I looked at it and I could stay there a little bit longer. And I had this idea that when you ran the challenge that led me to sales school, I had the idea that the charge was going to be a lot more. So I was trying to tell myself, like, it's okay. You'll just keep doing her free challenges. You'll just keep doing whatever it is. And so, yeah, when your offer came in, I was like, it's a no-brainer for me. And then, the first 5 people got a free session with you. And that's that right there. That's what created the program that was able to launch my biggest month ever.
I love it. So you mentioned something about you were preparing yourself for it to be more. And we just had this whole conversation about how I don't really have a low end offer, And by low end, I mean, I don't have a $997 thing. I don't even have $1997 thing that people can buy. Sales school is my lowest end offer. And I just had a conversation with a client who's in my highest level program. We were talking about sales school, and she was like, if I knew because of the level of business she's at, that the type of support that you provide in sales school was what it was. I didn't believe you. She's like, I heard you say it. I was like, I told you. She was like, I heard you say it, but I didn't believe you, because people say that none of their programs are booby prizes and, you get support all the way, but it's never really the truth. And so I want to ask you, what's different? What's different about sales school than other programs that you've come across?
So in the challenge, when there was a free challenge you did on Facebook, and you kind of put down your pen and you were like, all right, everyone, look at me, look up at me. And you said, I want you to understand who you're in the presence of. I want you to understand how I can help you. I want you to understand that if you follow what I'm asking you to do, you can step into the next level that you've wanted to do. And for me, I was kind of sitting there like, no, I went to your page the first time and couldn't even finish looking at it. That I know what you're talking about. So I guess that was for me. It was feeling the difference in that I saw myself in you. I'd gone to your site enough, I'd watched your videos enough to know that our stories are very similar. And to see, another female that, and we were saying this just before the call too, right? Like asking what my heritage was. I'm in, like you said, I've invested in these other programs, and it's always with men or women that I don't resonate with, that I don't recognize, or I don't see myself in. And to know that we both came from the similar backgrounds, that was, to me, it can happen for me too then. You were my evidence that it can be.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that with me. I forget that sometimes, when you walk around in your own skin, you don't think like, I'm a Black woman, I'm a Black woman, I'm a Black woman. You know what I mean? It's just who I am. And then I have to realize that there's not a lot of evidence of what I'm able to create and what I help others create as well out there. And so thank you for giving me that reminder that I am possibility for people. I want to do an invitation really quick to everybody who's watching, but I also want you to share. I just want you to kind of share from your heart. So it'll give you a few minutes while I'm doing this invitation to kind of gather your thoughts about what are 2 or 3 things that you would share with people who are in that place where you were in before you made that investment in sales school, about what it really takes to create this. Because people come to me all the time and they're like, Shameca, I want to do 100K months. And Shameca, I want 6-figure this. And I want $1 million business. And what I know that it's an inside game. And I can say that all day long, but I don't often think that people hear me. And so I want you to share your journey of what that was like in the way of lessons for them. Can you do that?
Yeah, I knew that. Some of the fears that come up is, if I sign up for this program, am I going to show up? Am I going to print out the workbooks? Am I going to watch all the videos? Am I going to actually do these things? Because like you said, I have signed up for other programs. And okay, I'm being very honest. I still didn't know that the answer was yes when I signed up. But there was just something, I guess it was going with my gut. There was just something that was like, I got to do this, and even if I half-ass it, I don't know, like I'm admitting that, but I knew that if I even kind of showed up, knowing that my schedule was at the point where it was at, where I couldn't fit another client in my schedule, but I didn't know at the time, that's what you were going to help me with, also creating the programs that I did so that I could free up more time in my schedule. So yeah, I think that's it, is I've wanted this where I'm at right now for so long. And like you said, walking around in my own skin and really owning who I am, I feel like I'm starting to come into that. I'm starting to see like all of my old live videos and starting to watch yours and watch the evolution of you.
Yeah.
That was kind of, I just am trusting myself more in that feeling instead of, do I have the money in my bank account right now? And I just went with my gut that I want to.
I think it sounds simplistic, right? The way you're even saying it, you're like, I just kind of trusted myself. Here's the deal. What I know is that the majority of people do not trust themselves. Mm-hmm. It's why they set a big goal. They don't trust their desires. Right? And if you're listening and this is you, I want you to lean in and hear what I'm saying. They don't trust their ability to create whatever it is they say they want to create. And they don't trust their knowing, right? It's easier to trust what other people tell you or what the majority of people are doing. But I think trust is a whole word, right? It's like, if you could learn to trust you, that you know what feels good for you, what's right for you, that the desires that you have don't make you greedy. You know, I was just talking to a client today and I'm like, well, like, what's the revenue goal you want to do? And in her mind, she's like, but I don't need that much money. So she doesn't set the goals, right? If we can trust that our desires are there for a reason, they may lead you to another place. They may lead you to another level of freedom. But the first thing is like trusting you. Trusting that you have the words, trusting that you have the gifting, trusting that people will pay you because you are just you, not because you need to learn another thing. So while it may sound simple, the first step is trusting yourself enough to invest in yourself, right? Trusting yourself enough to make a decision to show up and actually do the work. Like I said, it's one of the things I admire about you. There's nothing that I've told you to do that you didn't do, right? We were just talking about this, right? You have a whole entire program that I was like, oh, no, you need to check that. And you're like, what?
I was like, all right, I threw it out.
Right? You threw it out. And here we are celebrating your biggest month ever. 27,000. Hold on. I'm going to look it up because I want to celebrate you wholeheartedly. And I want to, you know, everybody who's watching this, whether you're watching the replay, whether you're listening on my podcast, whether you're here live, I just want to take a moment and celebrate Chantel. And I want her to anchor this in, because the other thing that I know about brilliant, badass business women and men is once we hit a goal and we're like, that was great. Can I do it again? And we're already moved on without anchoring in this knowing that we've done it. So here's the number. It's $27,625.86 you did in 31 days. The first month of this year. That's more money than some people make in a month. I mean, in a year. And I just want to celebrate you. So I'm going to be crazy. And I might even grab a whistle because I just want to. And let you take it all in. So can you guys just help me celebrate Chantel? Okay.
I'm like, I got my Oracle cards.
Yes! Yes. I love it. And so here's the invitation I want to make really quickly. And I want to give Chantel another opportunity to just give you guys some words of encouragement before we wrap up. I do these things because I want you to see possibility not only in me, but in other people. Right? Find somebody that looks like you, that has a business like you, a story like you, that's doing exactly what you want to do. And so I keep highlighting, and I'm going to highlight many more over the course of this month. But I also, there we go, want to give you an invitation because I'm going to be teaching a masterclass coming up shortly, where I'm laying out this strategy that we use, the strategies we use to create six-figure months, the strategies that Chantel's using to create her $27,000 month very rapidly. I'm going to be laying this out step by step by step, the inside game, the outside game. That means mindset and strategy. We're going to marry, right, the power of who we be connected to the divine with feet to the ground strategy about how we make something like this work. If you want access to this class, which is completely free, and I'm opening up for Q&A at the end. If you want access to this class, all you got to do is type 100K blueprint, just like it is on the screen below you, 100K blueprint, and me or someone from my team. I was like, do the thing. Someone from my team will reach out to you and give you access to the secret location. These are the same strategies that I use in my business. I'm not one of those people who teaches what used to work for me, and then I move on to something else while you guys are still running around trying to make what used to work for me work in a new time. As fast as I learn it, I share it, and we're all growing rapidly together. And so this is what I use in my business today. It's what I used last year to bring in over $1.5 million in revenue, right? I built my business to $1 million without even using Facebook ads. This is all organic, showing up as myself, not focusing on crazy things like branding, building a big list, all of those things. I'm just getting ready to really, really brand my business right now. We're focusing on doing that right now. And so I want to show you what really matters to create the kind of massive results as quickly as you possibly can. I'm going to lay it all on the line during this class. So type 100K blueprint. We will get you that information, get you the secret location you don't want to miss, because eventually we're going to charge for this class. But this time it's totally free to you. Okay. So Chantel, I want to wrap this up, but I want to give you an opportunity to just kind of share, what would you say to someone who's like you, who has these dreams? Like you're saying, like now this, where your business is right now and what you're doing is what you've always wanted to do, and you're currently doing it, right? We've pulled some hours out of what you're doing. We've put some programs together that allow you to leverage time, right? And sell for way higher dollar amounts than you were selling before. If you think about where you are, if there's somebody who's listening, watching this right now, who is similar to you, and we can even go to, brown skinned girls, right? What would you want to say? What do you want to say to her? What do you want to say to him, them right now in this moment?
Yeah. What was coming up for me when you were talking about trust, that we don't trust ourselves, especially, I think, in my opinion, as women, and especially as we're going into business. And so for me, because this is what I teach, I was already at that step. I was at the point where I can only trust myself in business. I'm the only one that's running everything. And so that was a different kind of loop for me to get around. But it was, if you don't have the trust in yourself, then see if you can resonate with either one of us, and know that you can trust us, and know that you can lean in and use us as the evidence that it is possible. Because it wasn't something that I saw growing up. It wasn't something that I ever really fully acknowledged that it could be. So if you need like just something else, like maybe you go through and you see my full story, or you see where I came from, or you see, you see all of the struggles before, but I think you've kind of marched out the weeds for us. So that's why it's so much quicker.
Yeah. I love that you shared that, because I was thinking about that the other day. The reason why I call myself the Grand Master of Massive Transformation Fast is not because I did it so fast. I did it slow. I did it the long, slow, hard way. But as I've mastered these principles that I share with all of you, I'm even elevating more rapidly and more rapidly. I'm like, for God's sake, I did $1 million month last year. Like, it was insane to watch this unfold. And so what happens is you get to skip the line based on what took me. I always think about the movie 12 Years a Slave, because it took me 12 years to get to this point. And I'm like, 12 years, 12 long years, so that someone like you, or those of you who are listening, it doesn't have to take you that long, that you can have this rapid transformation fast. So thank you for sharing that. If you're not following Chantel, or you want to learn what she does with EFT and some of the other mindset things that she does, make sure that you connect with her, because she's pretty badass. And she's got like really honking legs. That Pilates stuff actually works. Every time I was like see pictures of you, I'm like, okay. She does some stuff. I appreciate you, Chantel, so much for being here and sharing your story, because, we talked about this earlier. I do this, it gives me a chance to highlight my programs and the things that we're able to do. But I also realize that sometimes it takes us seeing someone who's like us in the stage that we think that we're in, or the stage that we're in our lives and our business, for us to get the possibility. And so this series that I'm doing, I'm actually calling it the Possibility Series, because I want everyone to see that what we're doing, it's an anomaly, and it's different, but it's totally possible for every single person. I think everyone can get to the point where they're doing 100K months. You just have to be following the right process, the right strategies, be surrounded in the right communities, especially where you can see that possibility being played out over and over and over again. It gives you the ability to believe. And so thank you for being open and honest and sharing your journey. I appreciate you so freaking much. And one last time, because
it's an honor. Thank you so much for asking me.
You're welcome. Let's celebrate Chantel again. Yay! Congratulations. If you want to join us for that masterclass, type 100K Blueprint, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my show, my channel. Here's what I want you to do. If you really love what you've been listening to, I want you to subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. No, really, leave a comment. Like right now. I'm not going to stop talking until you leave a comment. Seriously, leave a comment.